9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, what's up? Hello, how you doing? Welcome back. My name's Karl. I'm a travel photographer, and welcome back to my channel. This is a thing now. I do videos now. Currently in New York City. The year flew by like super fast. It's already December. It feels like it should be something like September. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, so what happened? I already can't remember what happened in February and March. So over the course of this video, I'm just gonna be scrolling through my camera roll, looking back month by month at things that I did, kind of as a way to remind myself in a couple of years, when I'm old and I can't remember all this stuff, I can just pull up YouTube, Karl 2018 year in review, and I'll be able to watch this video and like get up to date again. So I'm just gonna scroll through my camera roll here.
I brought in the new year with family in London and made my way over to Italy with my two cousins in search of some nice photographs. We just spent all day eating food, mostly calzones. They were freaking delicious. I flew back to England and stumbled upon my good pal Jordan Hammond. We got way too close for comfort, if you know what I mean. I then flew back to Manhattan, Kansas to start my second to the last college semester. February was an extremely slow and short month. I didn't get to do any photography because I was really focused on school. I did, however, start a deconstruction segment of one of my classes, which means I got to play around with a sledgehammer and bang stuff around. March was one of my favorite months because of spring break. I headed out on a solo adventure out to the American Southwest. It wasn't long before I got stuck in the desert sand. I had to unstick myself thanks to the help of my buddy Nat. I flew to Hawaii to work with Hyundai for my first campaign of the year. I met one of the chillest dudes known to mankind. I also met Christian, who's pretty chill as well, but she does run very weird, and that's okay. I tricked people into thinking that I'd learned how to backflip off a tree, then I actually learned how to backflip off a tree. I hopped on a plane back to Phoenix to pick up my car, made a pit stop at the Great Sand Dunes National Park to see this puppy, and hauled all the way back to school in time for class on Monday morning. That wasn't fun. April was also another pretty boring month because of school. I did some more sledgehammer stuff, got to work out with my sister, but then I appeared on local Kansas College TV to talk about photography and Instagram. Hashtag mama I made it. Hashtag look at me now. My cousins also flew from England to come say hi and have some Freddy's Burgers. Pause. If you have not had Freddy's Burgers, stop that. Go have some. It'll change your life. Not sponsored by Freddy's. May was also one of my favorite months because it meant graduation. I turned in my final college paper and drove right to the watering hole to celebrate by sending a delicious swan dive and also an extremely average backflip into the water. Here's a couple of photos I took for my graduation. I then made the most perfectly cut and directed piece of content that will forever be immortalized on my Instagram page. Link in the description down below if you want a little chuckle. After my graduation, I drove all the way to Texas to surprise my grandma wearing my graduation gown. She really liked it. It was really cute. I woke up my sister really early in the morning for a little sunrise mission. She did not find that funny. I did another mediocre backflip into the water before heading on a little road trip with my dad across the American South. He was severely confused when I took the selfie. I drove all the way from Florida to LA and said hi to my good buddy Tommy. I am a big fan of his knees. I hopped on a plane to Tahiti for my second campaign of the year with Tahiti Tourism. I ended up meeting Eric, who did this weird little didgeridoo dance with his hands. We did a very super tiring hike together, and the views were absolutely insane. June swung around and I found this really cool tree with my friend Tiff. We discovered probably my favorite beach on planet Earth before moving into a luxurious water bungalow and made friends with my neighbor Rob.
Hey, good morning, neighbors.
The Tahiti Tourism Squad took a very sensible selfie before saying goodbye to Tiff and heading off to Bora Bora with Rob and Eric. We saw some blue-ass water and I actually got to swim with sharks. I got dope photo after dope photo after dope photo after dope photo after dope photo all in one afternoon. I got lost at sea and hitched a right back to civilization on Rob's jet ski. We caught an amazing sunset that Rob was very, very much stoked about. I then flew back to LA and met up with a college buddy, Tom, who, guess what? Flies freaking planes now. Made it out to the Southwest again, and luckily this time I didn't get stuck in the sand. I met up with Carrie, Rob, and this guy whose name I forget. I'm sorry, my dude. Also, I made a very creepy face in this photo for some reason. Jetted off to Colorado to host a photography workshop. There was a lot of elk. And by a lot of elk, I mean a lot of elk. Kicked off July by zipping all the way to Wyoming to shoot one of my favorite photos of the year, this 4th of July photo. Big thanks to Carrie for letting me borrow her van. I then met David, who showed me around his beautiful backyard. Went on a very long hike with Ryan and shot this video that is never going to see the light of day. And then I rushed over to Montana to go dance in the sand for a photo with Ben, Travis, and Justin. I swan dived into really cold water to wash off all the sand from before driving all the way up to Canada for another mediocre backflip into some really, really cold water. I picked up this squad of really happy Canadians, and together we paddled over 11 kilometers to this this one bend in the lake to take a single photo, said goodbye to the Canadian folks, and rushed all the way down to Colorado to chug a beer with Ryan. I won. Then I drove up and down a mountain with Jess, who helped me retrieve my crash drone. Thanks again, buddy. And then Eliza, HB, Ryan, and a pup named Denali hiked up to this lake. It had some really, really nice colors. Had a sip of wine with Ryan before speeding all the way back to Kansas to make my last minute flight. I ended up getting a speeding ticket on my way back, but I made my flight, so it was absolutely worth it. On the 1st of August, I hopped on a flight with my good friend Ty. These kind gentlemen were very gracious enough to help us find our bro. Yeah. People kept taking pictures of Ty and I because we looked strange standing next to each other, but it's okay.
Because I'm black.
We hiked into a volcano in the middle of the night and saw some blue flames, one of the most magical moments I've ever experienced. And then I jumped over a couple of islands to Nusa Penida for some tropical fun. Remember Jordan from that one time we got way too close for comfort? Well, I met up with him in Nusa Penida and we ended up enjoying some slow-mo views of the ocean. We took a short ride on mopeds before teleporting to Bali, only for a cheeky monkey to try and steal Ty's camera from his backpack. We made it to this really famous waterfall with my French buddy Michael Roger. We said hi to some really friendly elephants and finished up the month by ripping around on dirt bikes. Remember Jordan from that time we got way too close to England? Well, the biking on the beach got him really, really excited. Look at his face. September rolled around and we hopped over to Japan, but unfortunately we got hit by a nasty storm, so we didn't really get any good photos. However, I did try some Pocari Sweat. It was absolutely delicious. I grabbed this new profile picture with my friend Ty and then we split ways. After that, I hopped on a plane and zipped over to Seattle to go exploring with Kelsey. Here's Kelsey being a little extra doing a slow-mo spin. We went to Italy together for my 3rd campaign of the year with EF Ultimate Break. Also, I met the coolest mountain baby ever, who, by the way, is way doper than all of us combined. Walked into a freaking freezing glacier before zipping all the way over to Paris and completely nailing it. Then jetted off to the Faroe Islands. I found my friend Harry at the end of a rainbow and we went on a hike that got really, really windy. Took the fastest way down the mountain and skipped over the ocean to Iceland for a mind-blowing sunrise. October popped off and I traveled to Dallas for my next photo campaign with Toyota. Then I flew back all the way for another campaign with Indonesia's tourism board on a boat with Jack, Julie, and James. Finally got to cross Raja Ampat off my bucket list, and then went off with Jack to show him around Java. While I was traveling in Indonesia, all the fall colors in the US were exploding, so as soon as November rolled around, I flew back to the East Coast to photograph what was left at bottom. Kelsey and I found an abandoned train and ended up getting some sick photos from it. Kept on driving south until we made our way to the southernmost point in the continental USA before I got flown to LA to shoot this holiday video with American Airlines. Picked up my buddy Tommy, remember the guy with the really, really nice knees? While we drove to the Yosemite National Park together. We took some rad photos, split ways, and I got invited to Hawaii by Fairmont for another photo collaboration. I said, yes, sign me up. My good friends Andy and Jalen were coincidentally on the same trip. They took us out on a private yacht and I sent the drone up and I got some sick photos of this half-sunken volcano crater. Took a plane to the Big Island. I don't know why I'm squatting this way, but I hopped in a heli with Andy and Jalen. I skipped over to Oahu to meet up with my friend Ben Ono, the silky merman, and then I climbed the haiku stairs with Jason, Vince, and Jessica. I did a strenuous hike up the Olomana Ridge with AJ before jumping over to Kauai to go say hi to my buddy Sam, who's got some interesting knuckles, by the way. I shot and finally released my first YouTube video before jumping over to San Antonio to spend some Christmas time with family. I then zipped over to Andy and Jalen's in New York and I got to bring in the new year with my friends. And now, I'm here. You guys are gonna be like, wait 1 second, Karl. I'm pretty sure that's not the backdrop that you started with when you started the video, and you'd be correct. I'm currently in Iceland, just jumping right into the adventure. Just wanted to take a couple of seconds to say thank you so much for your support over the last year. I'm looking forward to sharing more of my creative journey with you guys. We're even going to be taking YouTube a little more seriously and posting weekly travel and photography tips and tricks to hopefully entertain you and make you laugh a little bit while also giving you some important and some useful information that'll help you grow as a travel photographer yourself. And don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell so that way you know as soon as I post a YouTube video. Feel free to comment down below as well. I'm interested to hear what you thought about my year. That's about it. Thank you for watching and don't forget to stay adventurous. See you on the next one. Peace.